So you're considering making a move to Charlotte, North Carolina, and you just don't know what town or what neighborhood or what city is going to be best for you. Well, in this video, we talk about one of the many suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina, Indian Land. My name is Brandy Reinschmidt. I'm an agent here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Discover Charlotte, where we help you do just that. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can continue to be notified when we post new weekly videos and you can continue to learn like a local. We get calls, emails, and text messages every day from people just like yourself looking to move in Charlotte. So if that's you, whether it's into Charlotte, out of Charlotte, or just around town, reach out to us, send us a text message, give us a call. We'd love to connect and help make your move just a little bit easier. So what would cause someone looking for a home in Charlotte, North Carolina to end up in a town in South Carolina? It's not as uncommon or as crazy as it sounds, I promise. So Charlotte is actually located at the southern border of North Carolina. So if you're down here and you're looking for a house, say in Ballantyne or Pineville area, which is in the south part of Charlotte, it is really common for you to find yourself just going right over the border and finding yourself in South Carolina. And why? Why would people choose to be in Indian Land, South Carolina versus Charlotte, North Carolina? A few reasons. One, the job market. So Indian Land is actually a small unincorporated town in the northern part of Lancaster County. So it's just south of Charlotte, northern part of Lancaster County, and it's unincorporated. Now it is a small town. It has a population of just over 30,000 people. So I guess it's not that small, but for a town of just 30,000 people, it actually has a ton of job opportunities. You've got companies down there such as Red Ventures, Movement Mortgage, you have the Sharon View Credit Center, there's Honeywell, and Continental Tires. So while that's just a short list of them, there's a ton of other companies that are actually headquartered and located down in Indian Land, providing tons of job opportunities. So for a town of 30,000 people and an unincorporated town, it has a lot of potential down there. But why? So you're not in the job market, that's fine. Why else would you end up in Indian Land, South Carolina? Well, if you've ever heard of Ballantyne, you know where I'm going with this. So Ballantyne is actually an area of Charlotte. It's not quite a neighborhood, not really a district, but it is an area of Charlotte located south down Providence Road, Ray Road, Johnston Road area, if you're familiar with any of them. And at one point in time, about 5 years ago, it was actually the most searched zip code. So you can imagine how many people that were moving to Charlotte ended up looking down in the Ballantyne area. Ballantyne is so sought after because at one point it was considered an affordable part of town, which it still is. The surrounding areas of Ballantyne are usually the higher end homes in Providence Plantation and so on. So your average price point down in Ballantyne right now is in the mid to high fives. So what you're gonna get down there is Ballantyne is a newer developed area compared to Charlotte. Charlotte was developed in the 50s and 60s, where Ballantyne has homes in it from the 90s, early 2000s. Well, what was happening when everybody wanted to move to Ballantyne because of the affordability and most of all the school districts. Ballantyne is known for its school districts. If you've ever looked into the schools here in Charlotte, Charlotte, North Carolina in general is not rated as one of the higher end ratings for public schools here. So this information comes from greatschools.org. This is not my personal opinion on it. If you look at greatschools.org and you look at the ratings, all schools are rated 1 through 10 based on child to student ratio, the food that they serve, you name it. The schools down in the Ballantyne area actually are consistently some of the highest rated schools in Mecklenburg County. So getting back to Indian Land, people were moving to the Ballantyne area. They wanted to be in Ballantyne for the schools, for the jobs, the amenities, the convenience, all these things, right? Or, well, they couldn't find a house. They couldn't either find a house because there was none available, or they were getting outbidded because we know in the past couple of years of COVID, home prices here in Charlotte went crazy. If that house, especially in Ballantyne, was listed at $500, it likely sold for $550 or more. So oftentimes people got fatigued and just gave up looking in Ballantyne. So they started researching, started looking at why were they looking at in Ballantyne? Well, convenience, amenities, and schools oftentimes were one of the most important reasons. they started seeing that down in Indian Land, just across the border, you have the job market, or if you were working uptown in Charlotte, your commute wasn't that much different, because if you're in Indian Land, you can hop right on 485. Sometimes depending on where you're at in Ballantyne, it's gonna take you up like Johnston Road or Park Road, and you're gonna be stuck in traffic forever. So they got outbid, or they got pushed out of Ballantyne for whatever reason, and they ended up finding themselves down in the Indian Land area. Indian Land, you can get more bang for your buck, so you can get a larger home. You still get the job opportunities, you still get the amenities, and the schools down there are great. If you hop on greatschools.org, which is my go-to site, my go-to source for schools, you will see that all of the schools down in the Indian Land area are consistently rated 7 and above. So we've got the booming job opportunities, we've got the great schools. Now let's talk about the affordability. That's right. So like I said before, Indian Land is not quite developed. If you go down there, if you're driving through it, there are some areas where it's still gonna feel a little rural, a little underdeveloped, but it is being developed. Everything is becoming brand new. So here in Charlotte, like I said, we were developed in the 50s and 60s. So that's not uncommon for you to find a house that was built in the 50s and 60s. Ranch style homes, brick homes, larger lots, more mature landscaping. Well, if you go south and you go into Indian Land is all new construction homes. A lot of developers purchase property down there and are building these master plan communities, or even smaller new construction developments. You can get anything from custom homes to a tract style home. So you have a ton of options down there. And if you like new homes, Indian Land could definitely be a place for you to check out. A few communities that are sought after in the Indian Land area are Walnut Creek and Bridge Mill. These are two totally different style communities. They are both newer. Bridge Mill has been around a little bit longer, built in the early 2000s, where Walnut Creek in some areas are still being developed. So Walnut Creek is a huge community. It's a large master plan community with multiple different builders in there. So you can get a variety of floor plans, a variety of style homes. Bridge Mill actually has a little bit more of that Charleston style feel to it. You can get balconies on both floors. The homes are a little bit closer together. But what people tend to love about communities down in the Indian Land area is how closely knit they are. Maybe it's a southern thing, I don't know. But the Indian Land area tends, because of the size of homes, the affordability of homes, the job opportunities, and the school system, it tends to draw a lot of families there. So you're gonna move into a community, you're likely gonna have a newer home, and you're gonna have a tight-knit community. They're gonna do things on Halloween, they're gonna celebrate Christmas, they're gonna do a lot of pool parties at the summer. So if that's something you're looking for, definitely check out Indian Land. So you've got the good things. You've got the school systems, you've got the job opportunities, you've got the affordability in homes. Well, with growth in population comes growth in amenities. So what people can find as a benefit or a pro and a con of living down in Indian Land is the options of shopping. So while you have your shopping, one of the largest strip malls down there is going to be the Promenade. This is anchored by stores such as Burlington, TJ Maxx, Ulta, Hobby Lobby. So really you can spend your Saturday afternoon there and knock out everything you need to get done. But on the downside, you have a lot of the commercial larger properties. You don't have a lot of the family-owned boutique style vendors. So you're not gonna have a ton of variety. You've got a lot of amenities, it's there, you can get whatever you need. But if you're looking for those mom and pop locally owned shops, you're not really gonna find it in Indian Land. There are a few outliers. There's a few restaurants down there that are great that you can check out that are family-owned. Jim and Nick's is actually one of them. I believe that started as a family-owned one. Great barbecue here in the area. But shopping, so you've got the strip malls, you've got the larger shopping plazas, such as the Promenade down there, but there's not a handful of them. So your Promenade is going to be your main point of shopping. There's also other few like grocery stores down there. All these are opening up down there. So you will eventually have a lot of variety, just not right now, because again, it is still being developed. So that could be a pro or a con. You're gonna pass it on your way home. We're gonna get to why in a second, but you're also not gonna have a ton of variety in that. So another kind of negative, and I probably sound like a broken record if you've heard me say this before, but the traffic. I know, Brandy, you're always talking about the traffic. Hear me out on this one, I promise. It is still growing. And much like Charlotte, the infrastructure and the streets down in Indian Land, we're not ready for the growth that Charlotte has experienced. So this also plays into that. I say everywhere in Charlotte is like 15 to 20 minutes, and I promise you it really is 15 to 20 minutes. But if you are stuck in traffic down there, traffic is awful because there really is kind of like one way in, one way out. You're gonna be on Highway 160 and you're gonna be stuck. If there's a traffic jam, you are stuck. And because there is only one main point of shopping, if you gotta get to that shopping center and there's a traffic jam, you are stuck. So, traffic really is kind of a negative if you're heading down there. I travel down there quite frequently. I get a lot of buyers end up buying down there. And while it's not always bad, you do get used to it. If you want a short commute to Charlotte, you might have some bad days on that one. With that said though, let's talk about the commute and the amenities. So no, Indian Land does not have everything you're gonna want, but you're just 15 miles away from Charlotte. So if you still want a night out on town, you want the nightlife, you wanna go to a pro sports game, or you wanna go to a concert, you're still just right down the road from Charlotte, but you're removed from it on a daily basis, so you don't have to deal with all the hustle and bustle. So there you have it. You've got the good, which are the school zones, the affordability and the size of house that you can get, the proximity to Charlotte, and the job opportunities. On the negative side, you have a little bit of a rural feel. It's not quite developed. If you want an older style home, like you might get here in Charlotte, Indian Land's not gonna have that for you. And the traffic. Those are really the negatives that I have to say about Indian Land. I guarantee you in the next 10 years, it's not gonna look much different than what Ballantyne does. People are going to continue to grow there. Ballantyne is actually currently going through a major project where they are designing something called Ballantyne Reimagined. This will continue to draw more and more people down to the Ballantyne area. However, there is no more land in Ballantyne, so they are not building new construction homes, especially for your average family. So if you are looking for a home in that area, you might likely find yourself down in South Carolina. So consider it. It's not all bad. Indian Land is clean, it's new, it's easy, it's convenient to get to Charlotte. So if you're thinking about making a move, check it out, give us a call. My team and I would love to help you.